The Holocaust is one of the most horrifying and tragic events experienced by humanity in the 20th century. It refers to the systematic genocide committed by Nazi Germany during World War II against Jews and other marginalized groups. Approximately 11 million people were killed in this atrocity, including around 6 million Jews. The ideology of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party, NSDAP, was rooted in extreme racism and antisemitism. Jews were blamed as the cause of German society's and the world's problems, not merely persecuted, but dehumanized and reduced to targets of systematic extermination. The Holocaust is not just a German or European issue, but a universal human lesson that must be remembered by all. This article delves into the background, development, scale of victims, and the enduring lessons of the Holocaust. The origins of the Holocaust began with Nazi Germany's extreme anti-Semitism. Hitler and the Nazis accused Jews of causing Germany's economic crisis and social chaos, asserting that German prosperity could only be achieved by eliminating Jews. In his book, Mein Kampf, Hitler described Jews as parasites of humanity and argued that they must be completely removed from German society. These radical beliefs were adopted as the official doctrine of the Nazi Party. These extremist ideas were soon embodied in Nazi policies. The Nazis began with legal and social repression of Jews, stripping them of their rights and isolating them from society. The Nuremberg Laws, enacted in 1935, systematized Nazi anti-Semitism into law. They banned marriage and sexual relations between Jews and Germans, stripped Jews of their citizenship, and completely segregated them from German society. These laws not only discriminated against Jews, but laid the institutional groundwork for their complete removal from society. They played a key role in justifying later acts of genocide. The Holocaust did not occur overnight, but was a gradual process. The Nazis first focused on stripping Jews of rights and isolating them socially, then escalated to ghettoization, forced labor, and finally, mass extermination. Soon after Hitler became Chancellor in 1933, Jews were banned from holding public office and were excluded from education, medicine, arts, and other sectors. Jewish-owned businesses were forcibly transferred to Germans or Nazi Party members, economically destroying the Jewish community. A key turning point came with the Kristallnacht, Night of Broken Glass. From November 9-10, 1938, Nazi supporters looted and destroyed Jewish-owned stores, synagogues, and homes. Thousands of Jews were arrested. This was not a spontaneous riot, but a planned escalation of Nazi anti-Semitism aimed at expelling Jews from German society. After Germany invaded Poland in 1939, launching World War II, the Nazis implemented plans to isolate Jews in occupied territories. Jews were forcibly confined in ghettos such as the Warsaw Ghetto, where about 400,000 people suffered from overcrowding, starvation, and disease. Ghettos were not just isolation zones, but served as transit points to concentration and extermination camps. After invading the Soviet Union in 1941, the Nazis launched the so-called Final Solution, a plan to annihilate all Jews. At the Wannsee Conference in January 1942, Nazi officials outlined a systematic plan for exterminating Jews and other non-German groups by transporting them to camps for forced labor and mass murder. The most infamous camp was Auschwitz-Birkenau, equipped with gas chambers and crematoria. Millions, mostly Jews, perished here. Upon arrival, most were sent directly to the gas chambers. Survivors were exploited for forced labor or subjected to inhumane medical experiments. The Holocaust left about 11 million dead, including 6 million Jews, 2/3 of Europe's Jewish population. The Nazis targeted not only Jews, but also Romani people, the disabled, homosexuals, and others they deemed inferior. Jews were not only killed, but stripped of dignity and fundamental human rights. The Nazis industrialized the process of genocide in an attempt to erase their existence completely. The Holocaust was more than a war. It was a profound challenge to humanity's moral values and justice. It led to the creation of the United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, pushing the international community to focus more intensely on human rights and peace. The Holocaust serves as a stark warning of how destructive extreme ideology and hatred can be. The Nazis manipulated economic hardship and social unrest to fuel public hatred and justified their crimes through law and policy. This history remains highly relevant today, especially in an era where nationalism and extremism are on the rise. The Holocaust is a lesson we must always remember. The testimonies of Holocaust survivors play a critical role in linking past tragedies with the present. Holocaust memorials and museums around the world do more than preserve history. They stand as symbols for peace and human rights. The Holocaust is not just a historical event. It is a lasting symbol of human dignity and justice. It reminds us of the devastating consequences of extremist ideology and hatred, and the importance of defending democracy and human rights. History can repeat itself, but if we remember, learn, and pass on the lessons of the Holocaust, we can ensure that such a tragedy will never happen again.